My name is Tom. I'm an ex-academy goalkeeper for Brentford Football Club. If you clicked on this video, it means that you're interested in what actually goes on behind the scenes of a Premier League academy. How do you break into the first team? What are the diets like? What are the exercise plans? For example, did you know that academy players are advised to eat around 5,000 calories a day, depending on their weight, of course. Whatever the case, you're in the right place, as I'm going to cover everything today. I've broken this video into different sections so you can find the timestamps depending on what subject you're interested in. Timestamps are down in the description. But let me tell you my story and my experience of playing in a Premier League academy. I've always been a goalkeeper. I grew up idolising Joe Hart. I mean, I'd watch save after save, compilations, everything, just spend days on end watching them. I stopped playing when I was about 12. I got injured. As I went to make the save, I leant on my thumb on the ground and it went all the way back. And that injury lasted about 6 months, so I stopped playing and didn't really get back into it until I moved to London to go to an acting school. Now, I know what you're thinking. How the fuck did I go from an acting school to an academy football club? Well, as I mentioned, I got injured, and because of that I stopped playing, and that is where I really missed playing football. So I started researching clubs in my area until I stumbled across an article that said Brentford Football Club were hosting an open trial. My crazy ambition decided to give it a shot, even though I hadn't been playing at a high level since I was about 12. The trial went reasonably well. I remember after the trial, I got into the car, my mum picked me up and she said, Tom, going back from playing no football at all to getting into at the time, a championship club is just, come on, be realistic. But guess what? I made it, I got into the team. So pre-season started and it was not what I expected. I was way behind the other players. Coming straight from an acting school, like you can imagine, everyone else was coming from academies like Chelsea, you know, Liverpool, like all these other clubs. So I was so far behind. It was tough, and to be honest, I got the piss taken out of me like numerous times. Sometimes it was taken a bit too far, but hey. And to every one of you that treat me like shit, where's your professional contract, huh? Do you have one? No, I don't think you do. When it comes to the training, it was so tough to the point where it was so tough at one point I didn't even feel like I deserved to be there. I actually ended up making a video on this on my channel. I was determined to prove them wrong and also to prove to myself that I deserved to be there, so I worked tirelessly every single day. A special shout out to this guy Stavros. He would spend every day after training doing extra training with me, and it really made a massive difference, so thank you, Stav. Let's jump into how the academy system actually worked. Chapter 2. The training schedule. So the way our training worked was the following. On Monday at 1 to 3 we'd have training, Tuesday 1 to 3 we'd have training, Wednesdays would be a match day, Thursday's day off, and Friday morning would be either futsal, indoor football, or a gym session. We could kind of choose. But we'd have to go to lessons. They were kind of like sports science lessons, so that, you know, at least we had an education. If we didn't get a contract with the first team, we'd have something to fall back on. Now, in these training sessions, if you would perform well, you'd get called into the B team. And this did not happen very often. I just want to clarify this. There were very few players who did get called in, even though there was about 50 of us. I'd say only about 5 or 10 players actually got to train with the B team on a reasonably consistent level. And this is a big point where I think academy football could improve on massively. It's helping players progress into the world outside of football, because a lot of academy players, all they know is football and they get released. There's only a 0.01% of players that play in academy actually progress to the professional level. And unfortunately, as running a football club is a business, a lot of these players get left stranded, having no clue where to go with their career. And that is where I decided to start my own football club called the Blizzards. The aim of the Blizzards is to give talented players who've been released from their youth clubs a platform to showcase their talent. You can find the link to their Instagram in the description. If you want to come and join, come for a trial, we'd love to have you. Chapter 3, diet and matches. In terms of our diet, we were advised to eat roughly around 5,000 calories. I mean, I know that I had to eat 5,000 because I was a goalkeeper. I had to have a little bit more muscle on me, not just SpongeBob arms. Diet mainly involves, you know, protein, lean meats, lots of eggs, lots of chicken, lots of fish, carbs, rice, pasta. I would like to point out, however, that the club was not super strict in terms of us sticking to those diets. It was more of a case of, if you would eat that diet outside of training, then you would perform better on the pitch, which means your chances of actually getting into the first team are greatly increased. So they were kind of always keeping an eye out, and it was similar in our gym sessions. If we were actually putting in the extra effort outside of training, going to the gym more, the coaches would always keep their eye on the players that were putting in more effort. So if you are in an academy or thinking about going into an academy, put in the extra hours, because they're not most coaches, they're not going to force you unless you're genuinely contracted. They're not going to force you to stick to a diet, force you to stick to the training plan. It's all up to you at the end of the day. Now, in terms of our matches, this is the best part. I would love away days so much, because we would have to go to the first team's training ground. And I remember entering the first time that I went to Jersey Road. I walked through the gate and just saw BMWs, Lamborghinis, like proper flashy cars. And it was kind of like a reminder of, this is what you can achieve. So that was a nice target to dream of if you kept your head on the goal. No pun intended. After the first season we had an award ceremony, I was quite close to winning the most improved player. I personally, I think I should have done. But hey ho, it is what it is. I was still determined to win the most improved player. So into the second year, and unfortunately COVID happened. We had to stop training for a good couple of months, and unfortunately it was not the same after that. By the time that COVID had ended and we could go back to training, it was kind of the end of all of us, like the end of our time with Brentford and with the programme. So we all ended up getting released, and that is the harsh reality of football when playing in a football academy. It's so heavily relies on luck, but you just have to work a million times harder than anyone else. What I learned from being in that system was to be a lot more resilient. Before I joined the club, I was very kind of, protected and like safe environment and everything, and it taught me, it was tough love, and that's good. When you play for a club, an academy club, it's tough love. You're not just going to get handed something on a plate. You have to work for it. And although there were times where I felt like shit, and I felt like, why am I really doing this? In the grand scheme of things, I look back at it and think, it's an experience I'll definitely never forget. So yeah, it was tough, but I decided to just work harder than I ever worked. The Premier League clubs aren't easy, and they're not always what you expect them to be. You have to work extremely hard, and a lot of luck is involved in the whole process. But if you're watching this and you're a footballer hoping to break into a first team, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, peace, and I'll see you in the next one.